Hey, if you're enjoying the content but haven't yet subscribed, take a minute to hit that subscribe button. Join us. Thank you. All right. Yes, it's Comic Artist Fro's Secrets, and my name's Ethan Van Sciver, 26-year veteran of the comic book social club. No, industry. World's most charming, elegant, eloquent, and yet humble man. Great big Star Wars fan. Trusted member of the media. Now, here come old Flat Top. You come grooving up slowly. This guy is John Lennon's kid. John Lennon has two kids. One of them, Julian Lennon. Julian Lennon, I don't know if he got screwed over or what, but he was John Lennon's first son. And then Sean Lennon, of course, is the heir to the, Yoko Ono, John Lennon fortune. You want to talk about a privileged kid? People say that Sean Lennon looks just like his father, John Lennon. But as we saw yesterday, J.J. Abrams and Henry Abrams, sometimes it's just a distinctive pair of spectacles that makes all the difference. I'm so happy with this tweet. He says, when I was young, so much younger than today. Oh, I can make Beatle jokes. Oh, I'm not going to make Beatles jokes. It's corny. When I was young, the most interesting people were left-wing intellectuals, believe it or not. Contradiction in terms. There's no such thing. They're just left-wing weirdos and perverts pretending to be intellectuals, pseudo-intellectuals. But Sean Ono Lennon, who has everything in the world, who can actually afford to be a left-winger if he wants to. The two kinds of left-wingers that, are most prominent, most prevalent, diehard, are the extremely impoverished, okay, people who are just waiting for the government to kind of do something for them, socialism to kick in, and suddenly they get a Ferrari, or the very, very, very wealthy who are just doing it to with the middle class, essentially. I mean, it's like, oh, yeah, tax me. Go ahead, raise my taxes. I don't really care. I'm a multi-trillionaire. Now, Sean Lennon is the latter of these, basically, and it's something. It's brave of him. Just like his father did at the end of his life when he was actually starting to think that he was going to be a Reagan supporter before a weirdo, mentally ill, far left winger cut him down and ended his life and destroyed any chance of a Beatle reunion, at least here on Earth. We've had to suffer with the craziness of that weirdo, whose name I will not speak, for many decades. If you're a Beatles fan, I certainly am. But John Lennon, his father, was actually considering. I mean, he was kind of like Frank Sinatra, at the same age. Frank Sinatra went from being a great big Democrat booster to supporting Nixon and Reagan. It was Frank Sinatra pretty much perplexed and confounded his entire family by turning Republican, because that's what should happen at a certain point in your life. Sean Lennon is about my age. I think we're both born. I think I'm a year older than him. He is starting to realize. He's starting to realize that Andy Warhol was kind of was interesting. Okay, he was a phony. He was interesting though. His mom, still I think left wing. I don't know. I don't know if his mom's left wing, and who knows what his mom is. His mom just screams into microphones and ruins rock songs. But he is starting to see it now. He's starting to look around him at the people that no doubt he is surrounded by. He can't go anywhere without being celebrated. People kind of projecting their hopes onto him. He is the son of the great John Lennon. Is he going to be anything like his father? Is he going to do anything for world peace? Is he going to declare that war is over if you want it? Anything like that? Probably not. Probably just going to drink expensive cups of coffee in Manhattan bistros and hang out with I don't know who's Sean Lennon hanging out with, teenage movie stars, I guess. All right, so he says, and this person says, Josh Black says, and now how do you feel now? And then this person says, they are church ladies. Yeah, left wingers are church ladies at this point. Exactly, he says. We're offended by science and comedy. It's embarrassing. Sean Lennon is embarrassed of the left in this country. John, you have done, this is your ultimate. John, I really liked the White Album. I liked Everybody's Got Something to Hide, except for me and my monkey. But this might be your greatest accomplishment yet, John. I'm so pleased about this. Sean Lennon red-pilled. He's starting to realize that the left in this country, the SJWs, have become crazy. Okay, they've become crazy people, indoctrinated lunatics, and yeah, they're offended by science. They believe in 78 genders. I only believe in three genders, male, female, and then my gender, which is army kin. I'm a one-man army, and I've already said that. My pronouns are they, their, they, them. Okay, and I demand that you use them. But comedy, exactly. Let's get people destroyed. Let's destroy their lives for jokes that they made. Let's destroy their lives for utter ridiculous things, and let's do it for fun. I mean, that's basically what what SJWs are. And Sean you have to just, if you're keyed in, if you're cued into the culture, you haven't become a pod person yet, and Sean hasn't become a pod person. I'm so pleased. We're going to look back in 20 years at the comedians and cultural figures that have been banned from this site and others, and think of them like we now think of Lenny Bruce. Exactly. The same with the comic book industry. Of course, I will be elevated to the level of Stan Lee. No doubt. I mean, no doubt. I'm fighting for comic books the way that Stan Lee was fighting for comic books in the early 1960s. Yeah, of course. Expect it. Expect me. And expect everyone who's tortured on social media by SJWs to be treated like the Hollywood 10 were treated in the 1980s and 90s, except 100% innocent. All right, they were actually communists. All right, so he says that's the best case scenario. So Sean loves that idea. Sean loves the idea of people tortured by SJWs being treated like Lenny Bruce today. He says, this guy says, I'm pretty optimistic. I think George Gilder's book, Life After Google, is probably pretty accurate prophecy about how the internet is going to evolve. And Sean says, I hope so. I like the Hegelian idea that this, what looks like devolution, is simply what progress looks like close up and in the trenches. And I think that's a message of Trump support, honestly. That's how I read that. Unbelievable. And I gotta agree. So let me see if this conversation continues. Oh, wow. Yeah. Sean's giving this guy a lot of attention. That's pretty cool. He says, I think so as well. We're evolved to jump 100 false positives for one true positive. So we worry, but the trend is generally upwards for larger society at least. Yeah, I do. I think we're making America great again, too. Sean says, you're obviously smart. What do you study? And he says, thanks. Dropped out of computer science to start a company. Here's hoping that goes well. And Sean says, I had a feeling. I had a feeling. Let me know when you go public. Will do. You might be interested. It's in a music application. He says, DM me. I'm interested. That's what you get for having a good conversation with Sean Lennon and realizing that he's 100% right. Social justice warriors are scum of the earth. They are embarrassing to real liberals. If you're a real liberal, you've got to be embarrassed about what social justice warriors are doing, how rigid they are, how destructive and evil they've become. You've got to be embarrassed, and you should follow Sean Lennon's example here. This guy says, we're still the most interesting. And Sean says, no, we've become the church lady, as the person below says. It's embarrassing. We're offended by comedy and science. It's pathetic. Thank you. John. I'm a fan again. Thank you so much for raising this kid right. Even though you only had 5 years on the planet with him, I believe. Poor guy was only 5 years old when you were killed. Now he is. He's speaking truth, just like you tried to. All during your life. And this is great news. This is fantastic. So, what do you guys think about what Sean Lennon is saying here? What do you think about the heir to the John Lennon fortune, realizing that far leftism has turned and it's become something ugly and it's become something degenerate and it's become stupid and it's become cruel. Do you agree? Do you agree that he's correct about these things? And do you think that, I like his line about what we're witnessing is progress up close and in the trenches. And I don't think he means that in the way that progressives would hope he means that. I think he means that it looks ugly what's going on right now, which is, pretty much, the entire country. Most of the world has kind of turned right. They've turned right, or they've turned right back to the center again. That is progress. That is the future. Do you agree with him? Let me know in the comments. I know this is different from what I normally do, but I'm a Beatles fan. Just, you know, Beatles and Beach Boys. I think the Beatles were more like my childhood music. Like, I listened to them all through my teens and was obsessed with them, and I know every note of every song by heart. And the Beach Boys just seems a little bit more exploratory to me, so I'm more into the Beach Boys right now. But I still do love the Beatles. John Lennon was my favorite, and I had to make a video about this. Thanks, everyone. Please like, subscribe, and share this video, and I'll see you again soon. Hey, I got a P.O. box. Want to send me some mail? Send it to Ethan Van Sciver, P.O. Box 607, Marlton, New Jersey, 08053. And I'll probably open it up on the live stream. Thanks very much, everyone. Hello, potential Indiegogo backers. Hello, friends. My name is Ethan Van Sciver. I'm a comic book creator who worked for 20 years for Marvel and DC Comics on books like Green Lantern, Flash, Superman, Batman, and X-Men. But before that, I had a comic book called Cyberfrog. Now, Cyberfrog lasted from 1993 to 1998, and then it stopped when I went to go work for DC Comics. Now I want to tell the story of where Cyberfrog has been for the last 20 years. I want to write, pencil, ink a book called Cyberfrog Blood Honey that tells the story of gigantic alien hornets that come to Earth and conquer it, sending Cyberfrog into deep hibernation, where he emerges now in the year 2018 into a completely alternate reality, a new world where these hornets have taken over, devastated humanity, using human skin to make gigantic wasp hives, and harvesting human blood to make honey to feed their young. Very few humans still exist. But it's up to Cyberfrog to save what's left of humanity and turn back the damage that's been done by these wasps with his brother Salamandroid and his friend Heather Swain. I want you to help me do this. We're going to get colors by Kyle Ritter. He's a fantastic colorist, and he's going to make this book sing. I'd like this to be a 48-page one-shot prestige format, part 1 of 4. So I'm asking you to help me launch the very first Cyberfrog Blood Honey epic graphic novel. Are you in? Will you help me? I hope so. Let's get this frog jumping again. If you enjoyed this video and want to become part of this community, subscribe to this channel by clicking the laughing man face logo right on your screen. Ring the bell for notifications as well. You'll never miss a live chat. And stay tuned, another video by Comic Artist Pro Secrets is coming right up.